Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. We have some amazing news. It's being reported by ESPN that the UFC is working on a main event between Thiago Santos and Magomed Ankalaev. It will take place March 12th, 2022, and I absolutely love this light heavyweight fight. I'll give you my early prediction at the end of the video, but first off, this matchmaking by the UFC is absolutely perfect. You look at the UFC official rankings, Thiago Santos is currently ranked number 5, while Magomed Ankalaev is currently ranked number 6. So it makes perfect sense in the grand scheme of the division. And then you look at where they're at in their careers, and I think it makes perfect sense as well. You have Magomed Ankalaev, who people have been complaining he hasn't been tested. He really got his first step up in competition against Volkan Ozdemir, and he looked so impressive. That was only a couple weeks ago at UFC 267, and he beat Volkan Ozdemir for all 3 rounds. I know Ozdemir had some moments early in that first round, but Ankalaev was just able to dominate him with the striking, with the grappling, just every facet of the fight. Magomed Ankalaev won that fight, and I picked against him. I was a little bit of a doubter. I thought Volkan Ozdemir is highly underrated, and Magomed Ankalaev went out there and put on an amazing performance. Now, you look at his resume before that, not a lot of names. He had that brutal KO win over Ion Cutelaba back at UFC 254, but other than that, he hasn't had a huge step up in competition until he fought Ozdemir, and now he's just getting the next level, of competition against Thiago Santos. And I know people try to crap on Thiago Santos a little bit. He's only won 1 out of his last 4 fights. But look at who Thiago Santos is fighting. Back at UFC 239, the beginning of his losing streak, he lost to John Jones via split decision. A lot of people thought that Thiago Santos should have won that fight. And he had 2 blown out knees. I think he blew him out in the second round. And to go on and have such a close fight with John Jones, the consensus greatest light heavyweight of all time, super impressive. I don't care if he lost or won. Then he goes on to fight Glover Teixeira next, and that wasn't that long ago. That was only November of last year, so just under a year ago, or just over a year ago, actually. And he was winning that fight. He hurt Glover Teixeira badly, and he ends up getting over aggressive, kind of gassing himself out, and Glover Teixeira takes advantage of him and submits him via rear naked choke. And that loss has aged very well. Glover Teixeira is now the current light heavyweight champion. Then he goes on to fight Alexander Rockage, who a lot of people believe may be the future of the light heavyweight division, myself included. And he only loses by decision, and it wasn't a very impressive performance by Rockage. Honestly, it could have went either way, in my opinion. It wasn't super dominant by Rockage. And then he finally gets back on the winning track October of this year against Johnny Walker. Not the most impressive performance, but decent enough, and to get him back on the winning track. And I'm still a big believer in Thiago Santos. And I just think this matchup makes perfect sense. Thiago Santos is an elite light heavyweight fighter. I know people like to write him off just because of all the losses. And Magomed Ankalaev really needs that step up in competition. And if he can get a big win over Thiago Santos, I mean, who knows? He might be close to a title shot. I know the division's kind of logjam right now. You have Glover Teixeira as the champion. You got Yuri Prochazka waiting in the wings for a title shot. You got Alexander Rockage there kind of waiting for a title shot as well. And then also you have Anthony Smith making a career resurgence. But if Magomed Ankalaev can go out there and stop Thiago Santos, he's, as Dana White would say, he's in the mix to get a light heavyweight title shot. And if Thiago Santos can go out there and beat Magomed Ankalaev, who a lot of people also are saying is the future of the division, he may very well be. His striking looks good. His grappling looks good. He's just a very well-rounded fighter. He's not small for the weight class. He's a big light heavyweight. And I think he can have some serious success at light heavyweight. And I'm all aboard the Magomed Ankalaev hype train after that win over Volkan Ozdemir. I feel like people don't give Volkan Ozdemir enough credit for how good he is. And for Magomed Ankalaev to go out there and outstrike him in the way he did, deal with the adversity early. He was hurt early in that fight, and then win the fight. I think that's a super impressive win, but a win over Thiago Santos would be even more impressive. So my early prediction for this fight, I got to go Magomed Ankalaev. I think Thiago Santos is not going to try to take him down and hold him down, and I don't think he would be successful doing it either. And, Thiago Santos wins his fight by having this crazy brawling style where he's throwing wing power punches, and we've seen how technical Magomed Ankalaev's boxing can be. And I just think he'll be able to avoid the big shots from Thiago Santos, and he'll just be able to outstrike him, similar to the way he did with Volkan Ozdemir. Volkan Ozdemir has nasty power as well. It's probably not, as brutal as Thiago Santos, but Magomed just went out there, used his technical striking, used his leg kicks, used his jabs, and just outstruck him. And I think he'll be able to do the same to Thiago Santos. and maybe even stop him on the feet. Now, if I had to predict this right now, give you, a more detailed prediction, I would go Magomed Ankalaev by decision. I may change my mind by the time the fight comes around, but either way, this is a great fight. And Thiago Santos, if he can turn Magomed Ankalaev back, that puts him right back in title discussion for the light heavyweight title. I know he has a lot of losses, but we went over him. A lot of them don't really mean that much. He was winning in the Glover Teixeira fight, loses, he gasses himself out looking for the finish and gets submitted. Then the John Jones fight, split decision loss. A lot of people thought he won. And then the Rockage decision loss really doesn't mean anything. It was super close, and it wasn't all that impressive by Rockage. And Rockage is a high-level elite talent as well. So I'm really looking forward to Thiago Santos versus Magomed Ankalaev. Let me know what your early prediction is in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, and thank you so much for watching.